Hi, Facebook. So amazing to have you here. I am Brianna, and this is Woman Rhapsody number 48. And I'm going to just welcome you all in. For those of you who are joining live, I love having you live. For those of you who are watching replays, it's so amazing to have you. At any point that this is resonating with you, give me some love, give me some hearts, give me some thumbs up. Today, I'm going to be diving deep on the subject of why the word bitch is more important than ever. And I am going to come about this in my own channeled way. Like all the Wild Woman Rhapsodies, this is my channel. This is my time to tune into my truth, open my channel, and just deliver what comes through me. I'm not here to tell you the truth. I'm just here to share with you my truth. So thank you for tuning in. Tanya Lynette, it's good to see you. Nora, it's good to see you. Give me some highs, give me some hearts. Hi, Gwyneth, it's good to see you. Those of you coming on, Enrique, it's amazing to see you. Give me some love. Today on Wild Woman Rhapsody, it's going to be amazing because I want to, hey bitch, hey Isabel, it's good to see you. I am so ready to reclaim this word. And my dear sister, friend, coach, compadre, and all of the things, Amy, has really inspired me with this word. And I think I triggered her with the word witch and she came back with bitch. And it's just been this amazing journey into the linguistics of empowerment, right? So I love to work with spells. I am a witch, which in my own world means woman in her center. Woman in their center. And I am ruled by no overarching philosophy or idea. I do not subscribe to a religion or a tradition. I have studied with multiple different spiritual healers, spiritual religions, earth peoples, Catholicism, Baha'i. And what I decided for my life was that my connection to source is direct and that I integrate myself into nature to really understand that source. And so me coming here as a wild woman, as a witch, is truly, I'm not here to proclaim anyone's truth except the truth that is flowing through me. Now it's influenced obviously by the world around me, but what we get to really dive into today is the linguistics of empowerment, because one thing that I have found that's so powerful being a wild woman, being a human in this lifetime, is the language that we use literally creates the world around us. And there's this term bitch that has been weighing at my soul pretty much my entire lifetime. I remember it was the first name that my dad ever called me in a derogatory way that I really felt impacted. And it was interesting after, when he was apologizing for calling me a bitch, he made it very clear that he didn't call me a bitch. He said that I was acting bitchy. But to the 15-year-old mind, it didn't matter. But in his mind, he remembered that he was calling me bitchy and not a bitch. And that was important for him to tell me, because being a bitch has been looked at as the one who's going to get fucked, right? The bitch is the term that's used for a dog that's ready to be bred. A bitch specifically is a female dog that's ready to be bred. And her attitude can be somewhat protective. She's selective. She's not going to just let any dog hump her. She's going to want the most dominant, the most fit, so the bitch is like the one ready to make the choice. Right? That's the reclamation of the word, is the bitch is the one who's ready to make the choice in her life. I'm ready to choose the alpha in my life, whether it's the alpha of my career or the alpha of my friendships. I want the alpha in my friendships. I want the alpha in my man or woman or other, whomever I choose to partner with. Right? The bitch is the female ready to step into her alpha. And yet it's been put on us women that being a bitch is somehow a bad thing. That being a bitch is somehow a burden. That being a bitch is somehow a burden to someone else. Right? I just took a DNA test and it turns out that I'm 100% bitch. I love that. It's so powerful. It's so powerful. Ladies, how many of you have been called a bitch in a derogatory way? Let me get some hands up. Let me get some hearts. Let me get some wows, right? Like they called you a bitch and it definitely wasn't like to encourage you on. Right? It wasn't like, oh, bitch, like you go. It was more of like, bitch, that like downplay with the word, right? And Amy says every day, girl, bitch, please. The power of this word is helping us remember our alpha line. That if anything comes to us and tries to dominate us and we're not allowing it, we're going to go for the throat. Because that's what a bitch dog does. If a bitch dog is about to be mounted by a dog that she does not want to procreate with, she turns around and fucking goes for their throat. No, not allowed in my life. Not allowed in my space. Not allowed in my country. Not allowed in my world. right? And too many times I've been called a bitch in order to suppress me from drawing a line. I've been called a bitch by men who wanted to hump me, and I told them to back the fuck off, and they called me a bitch. And if I would have known better, I would have turned around and said, damn straight, I am an alpha female in power, not allowing you to mount me because you're not worth this. You're not worthy of this. You're not worthy of me, and so I'm not going to allow you to come into my space, right? What things are in your life that your inner bitch gets to come out and cut them out? Because there are things in your life, there are things that are dominating you that are not at your alpha level. Is this true for you? Can I get a raise of hands? Maybe some sad faces or at least a little heart? What are things in your life that are dominating you? Is it your relationship to your time? Is it your relationship? Are you stuck in a place? Are you stuck in a rental agreement? Are you stuck in a mortgage? What has got you stuck? What has got you pinned? What has got you under its weight, like literally fucking you? That your inner bitch gets to come out and say, actually, this is not what I want in my life. This is not what I'm calling into my life. Ladies, now more than ever, we get to call forward our inner bitch. And I want to be super clear, okay? This energy is more important than ever in human history. We just had a bill pass in Georgia that makes it available for women to be put in prison for up to 30 years for choosing to have something done to their body, for choosing to have an abortion. What the actual fuck? Someone in the government can decide to arrest and press charges on a woman for making decisions about her own body. Like the fact that all of our inner bitches are not out right now, like completely outraged, blows me away. I don't think there needs to be less bitchiness on the planet. I think there needs to be more, because remember, bitchiness is not just anger being projected. It is an inappropriate move for someone to come into my space and try to mount me without me giving them permission first. It is an inappropriate move on this planet to move onto the planet Earth and extract her resources and cut down all of her trees and extract her petroleum without thinking about the future. The fact that you're not a fucking outraged bitch is more concerning to me than anything else. The fact that you're not speaking about the racial inequalities on this planet. The fact that you're not talking about how women are still paid 70 cents to the man's dollar. How we're still not talking about how human trafficking is the #1 economic exchange on the planet. Like, you get to be a bitch about the things that are no longer tolerable in your reality. And this goes for men too. You have your own inner bitch, that inner mother who will not let the line pass. Who says, actually, this is not allowed to be created in my reality. I'm going to make some noise about it. I'm going to say something about it. Because the first thing that was taken away from women when the military industrial complex started to go on the rise, when the disease of conquest, this idea of conquering your neighbor came over, the first people were to speak out were the women. And so that is the time that we've been suppressed, is because women's voices are the strongest when it comes to not going to war, when it comes to not doing injustices. Women's voices have been the strongest. And so it's very vital that we as women and men find that inner bitch, find that part of us that's not willing to tolerate that kind of energy anymore. Maybe it's second-rate friends. Maybe it's people who don't show up for you. Maybe it's people who continually complain. You get to be a bitch. Now, it doesn't mean you bitch face off with the person. It just means you get to say, is this really what I want in my life? Me to me. Let me be a bitch just with myself. Me to me. Is this what I want to continue to create in my reality? Is this what I want to continue to invite into my space? Because unless I'm cutting that energy out, it's going to continue to come into my space. I create everything that is in my reality. So if there's something in my reality that is not resonating, something in my reality that is not in alignment with what I want to create more of, I get to be a bitch and eliminate it. Whatever that means, have a clearing conversation, ask the person to leave, quit the job, no longer calling that friend back, whatever it is that you need to activate that inner bitch, so that you can no longer invite in that other energy. Because if that energy is in your field, guess who's the one letting it in? Remember, boundaries are for you, by you. And the boundary of your bitch is powerful. She doesn't let anything into her space that she wouldn't let around her pups. She doesn't let anything into her space that doesn't feel safe and inviting to her own body. She doesn't allow anything into her space that isn't a full fuck yes for every cell, because she's not just caring for herself, she's caring for little ones as well. So you got to find your inner bitch. And this is for women, men, and others. This is not just for women, that part of you that will not put up with this bullshit. Where is the level of bullshit that's showing up in your life that you're still saying yes to? That's really what the message of the bitch is. She gets to come in and say, I will no longer tolerate these things, and I get to be a bitch and I can still be kind. Right? This isn't about being mean. This isn't about attacking people. This is about becoming a bitch with your own internal experience and no longer putting up with the bullshit that you used to tell yourself as excuses as to why you had to play small, as to why you can't invest in yourself, as to why you're not committing, as to why you're not committing in relationships, as to why you're not committing to something that you know is good for you. The bitch is for you, by you. The boundaries are for you, by you. This isn't about showing up for anyone else. This is about the way you speak to yourself and reclaiming your inner bitch and saying, you know what? I get to totally create my reality and nothing comes into my space. Nothing mounts my energy unless I invite it in. Nothing mounts my energy unless I invite it in. If this resonates with you, I would love to have some hearts. Give me some shares up in here, because this is a valuable conversation. And it's a word, it's a very potent word. It cuts. The word bitch cuts. When someone says the word bitch, it's an attention grabber. It's a spell for attention. And so share with your friends, share with your women friends, share with your male friends, share with your other friends. And it's so vital for you to stand forward and really claim that. My inner bitch says, fuck no, I don't want to go to happy hour. I want to go home and do my thing. Yes, Lori, I love it. Thank you. And you get to really live in that, right? Amy says, feeling you, thank you. Bitch keeps me accountable. I love her. Nice, Bruna. And that's exactly what it is, right? Like no more denying that part of ourselves. And we get to claim all of that bitch and still be kind to ourselves and still be kind to other people. Being a bitch doesn't mean constantly being at the throat of someone. It says that we have that capability. It says we have the capability to be at the throat of someone. We have the capability to get into this state, but we also have the capability to be right here in the sweetness and the compassion and the love. Because the bitch knows when to be with her puppies, knows when to be with the puppy of someone else's heart, and knows when someone isn't going to respond to something unless they have a little bit of energy. And you get to navigate that in your life. Claiming that inner bitch, claiming that one who holds her own boundaries for herself, who holds his own boundaries for himself, their own boundaries for themselves. Always. I've gotten this question before. Oh, Tanya Lynette says, stepping into the leveling up and all that I'm called forward to be. Yes, exactly. For us to be able to say yes to the things that actually align, we get to first learn how to say no to the things that are slowing us down. To say yes to the reality of our dreams being created, to say yes to the possibilities of creating heaven on earth, to say yes to the possibilities of making sure that all families, every human being has wealth, vitality, full health, full freedom with their time and place, and complete resource abundance. If that's really the reality we're calling in heaven on earth, we've got to learn how to say no to the fucking bullshit in our own personal lives first. We think about it on a legal level, maybe governmentally, state structure or federal structure or international structure, and what's happening with the wars and what's happening with these. And those are things that we can look at, but the real feedback is in our own personal lives. One of my favorite quotes is that nice Mohandas Gandhi quote about sweeping your own front porch and the whole world will be clean. I love that, Jody. No is a complete sentence. Yes, it is. With no explanation. I totally love it. And so this powerful place that you get to come into with the word bitch, and I'm not necessarily here to start a bitch revolution as much as I am a witch revolution. My dear friend, sister Amy is more in that line. But what I really want to reclaim with this word and all of you is the spell casting today, that you get to claim your inner bitch. You get to claim that word, and you get to allow yourself to say no to the things that do not serve you. Hi, Anna. It's good to see you. Maria, it's good to see you too. And not be afraid of being called a bitch. I wish that time when I told that boy no to sex, or when I was a little bit short with my words, or when I responded to my father in a way that was standing my own ground. It's not that I was being conniving. In each of those scenarios, I was not being conniving. I was being honest. And I was being boundaried. And I wasn't allowing an energy into my space that didn't feel good for me, that didn't feel right for me. And I got called a bitch. And now if anyone ever calls me that again, I'll check and make sure there's no manipulative energy. I'll check my shadow. I don't mind checking my shadow. But I will also say thank you. Because the bitch right now is the one associated with not giving the conquering disease exactly what it wants. The bitch is the one that when the conqueror comes to her, she kicks him in the fucking balls and says, no, you don't take me. You wait until I give you permission. So be a bitch and allow people to ask you permission to come into your space, to come into your body, to be in your spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, sexual, financial, interdimensional space. Hold that boundary for yourself. Amy says, own the inner bitch. Exactly. And it's taken me a long time to get here as a recovering people pleaser to really own the inner bitch. One of my dear friend, Ilana, empowered me with this mantra, and it's been so amazing these past couple days of let them hate you. Come at me. Bring it. Let them hate you. Hate me. Call me the bitch. Call me the witch. Call me the whore. Because this time around, I multiplied my soul and I'm in over half the planet. So I'm not going to get burned at the stake this time. I planned it this way. And then we're waking up. The witches, the bitches, the crones, the whores, the wizards, the fairies, the magical beings who know that we're here with a deep purpose to create heaven on earth, to create the forest of love with each other. And we're fucking ready to fight for love. And I am so honored to be with you all today. Thank you for joining me for Wild Woman Rhapsody. If this moves you, please share it. Sharing is caring, and I love seeing the shares. Please leave your comments below. I would love to hear about your experience with the word bitch. I shared some of my own personal ones. And I'm here to share how claiming this is working in my life. I'm also wanting to do just a little moment of if anyone's interested in diving deep as to how this inner bitch can support them in what they want to do in the world, right? Really creating the boundaries and creating the magical spells for you to move forward in your world, really understanding your no so that you could have a deep relationship with your yes in your sacred career, in your sacred business. I'm running a program that's just for women that's only going to last 8 weeks. It's $888. It's the least expensive program that I run besides my monthly membership program. This is available for women who want to step into their bitchcraft, who want to step into utilizing that sacred space of no and that understanding of yes to really craft their offering. And it's an 8-week mastermind, mistress mind, collective crucible of a coven. I included the link here in the description on the Facebook Live. So if you're interested in doing that, remember that's for women, that's bitchcraft. Any one-on-one or group work, I've put my website on here as well that you can check out. And also if you want to watch any other Wild Woman Rhapsodies, I put the YouTube link as well. It's so good to feel all of you here. I love you. Thank you for joining me on this conversation of Wild Woman Rhapsody, the bitch archetype, and why it's so important for us as women, men, and all of us right now. I love you. Many blessings.